Hey, how's it going, everybody? Episode 68 of the Erick and Brad Show. Episode 68 of the Erick and Brad Show. Thank you so much. We're back again for episode 68. Sometimes it feels like no time has passed at all. Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, hit follow or like or subscribe or whatever you do. Erick's in a West Coast state above California and below Washington, and I'm in the Dakotas, the states of the Dakotas, but the northern one of the two. So that's just long story short, and we're here again. We do a show once a week, and we're back for episode 68, erickandbradshow@gmail.com, erickandbradshow@gmail.com. We're going to start the show off today with an hour-long discussion about COVID vaccines. So that's what we have in store for today. My name is Brad. This is Erick. How's it going, man?
Oh, fantastic. Did we get someone that bitched about our COVID talk? Is that where that came from?
No.
Or are you just...
I didn't hear any bitching.
You were just like, okay, enough COVID talk?
I don't know. It's easy to talk about. We could literally sit here and talk about COVID for another 2 hours.
Another hour, and then next week do it all over again?
Yeah, it's like the easiest thing to talk about, which is just why it's no fun to talk about.
Oh. Never mind. I don't... did you hear the whole... I'm so, not into pop culture, so many things I, bring up, I really don't even know. I don't know any of it. I just kind of catch things in passing. But supposedly the fight that broke out, not really a fight, between MGK and fucking Conor McGregor. Do you know more about that? I heard two different stories. I heard one that was because who is MGK with?
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox or something like that. Which I can't picture Megan Fox, but I know that that's a big ass name.
Yeah,
very famous woman. And
she's in the first Transformers movie.
Oh, yeah, she's banging hot. She's very good looking. Yeah, the first story I heard was that it was McGregor's wife or whatever, or girl wanted an autograph from her girl or something like that, and then other people are saying that he wanted an autograph from Megan Fox. I don't know. But then MGK told him to go fuck himself, and then that's a little scuffle broke out or something like that.
Stupid.
Is that correct? Do you know more information than that? Did I just give you more information than you knew?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I just saw the clip on TikTok, but I have no backstory.
But what I wanted to talk about, which I don't know, I was just talking to a few people about this, and the idea came from another podcast, but I couldn't believe that someone thought this way. They were like, "Well, how big is MGK?" And they're like, "Oh, he's like 6." Because he's a tall fucking dude. He's like 6'4" or something like that. Very tall guy. And they're like, do you think, is there, he might, the reach on McGregor? And it was just like, McGregor would beat the living shit out of him with fucking 3 broken legs and or 3 broken limbs. That's a ridiculous thing. And then the conversation I was listening to went into, do you think, okay, let's put not MGK versus that, a featherweight champion in the UFC. And they're like, yeah, no questions asked. Anybody in the UFC would beat the living shit out of MGK. There's no chance. It could be a 130-pound guy. No chance. He is going to fucking stomp someone that's 6'4". Yeah. And then, I asked the dude, this guy I work with, who's a big boy. He's about 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in there. But he's also fucking not skinny. He's big boy. The type of person that it really doesn't even matter if he's a good fighter or not, which he says he is a good fighter. He's been in a lot of fights, but it's he's damn near, he's 300 pounds. If that dude hits you, out. You know what I mean? Just out. And I was talking to him. I was like, what do you think you would do against a featherweight? You know what I mean? He's like, I'd win. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? When does size and skill cross? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm no expert.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just having a bunch of those conversations this week, and I thought it was interesting to think about. But I don't know where the weight goes, but I would assume if you're untrained, you literally couldn't. It doesn't matter. Like, the size doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you're talking about MMA, UFC.
Yeah. And the only way is, I do think you hit a certain weight, like above 250, to where you might just get lucky and you better land your first haymaker. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. There's always that little chance of luck, but
yeah. But MGK, no chance, because he's not that big. No. He's skinny as shit.
No, he's very skinny.
There's no way he packs that much of it. You know, maybe he'd beat me up. Maybe, you know what I mean? Because he has a huge weight advantage or reach advantage on me, but he ain't beating up. Yeah, I don't know. That was just a dumb little thought I had.
Yeah, I don't as much as the internet wants me to care about
UFC.
MGK, or MGK and Megan Fox. I refuse to care.
I can't stand him. I cannot stand that dude.
Yeah.
I just don't.
He has like two. There's like two MGK songs that I really like.
Rap
and the
on
rest
the rap
of it,
side.
No, one of them from his punk pop album, and then another one that's a rap song with Wiz Khalifa. The other ones I could fucking go without.
You're not talking about that song that's on repeat on the radio, right? Because I have
no idea.
I don't think we could be friends if you actually like that song. I
have no idea.
I swear to God, I never fall in love.
No.
It drives me insane.
No, I don't think that's it. It's from that album, but I don't think that's it.
It's the single off of that album. And
yeah.
Music videos, he's driving on top of, he's like on top of a car, like playing guitar.
Yeah.
Everything about him irritate. Like, you can't. I don't get. It's just women. That's all that's buying this new MGK thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's all just women into this.
I guess
no one into like. Because I'm going to say they're kind of flirting with like a Blink 182 crowd a little bit, you know, like trying to get into that. And it's like anybody that was into Blink or Weezer or any alternative band like that, that's stupid music. That is not good music. And then him like constantly picking up a guitar, you can tell anybody that can play an instrument can look at him and he cannot play guitar. All he can do is power chords and strum. That's it. He's not like talented. It's like when I saw Post Malone play that Nirvana set, I was actually like, holy shit, he actually knows how to play guitar. Like, he's not just a rapper that learned a few chords. Did you ever watch that thing he did? I was blown away by that. Just like, wow.
No, I've watched Post Malone cover country songs too, and he can basically do anything musically. It seems like. Yeah,
I hated that dude. I hated his stupid tattooed face, and he looks really weird. Yeah. But then once you just got to give credit where credit is due, and that dude's obviously talented. Yeah. MGK, on the other hand, he's not talented. All these songs, he had nothing to do with these songs. You know what I mean? He's just a poster child for this music. I guarantee
it's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? I bet you every song was ghostwritten to where he didn't write it. You know what I mean? All the studio stuff, I guarantee he didn't play it. Even his, because I saw something today about him playing. It was a live in concert. It was someone on my Facebook that like posted a video of them at an MGK concert. You know what I mean? And they're videotaping it, and he just like the way he played guitar, and then he just sits the guitar down, and it's like and then there's two other guitar players on the stage, so it's like. He's not doing any of that. You know what I mean? He's solely relying on all the band to keep that playing. I don't know. I just think it's so lame. It's like, just don't even pick up the guitar then. Don't even try to make it look like you can play guitar. I don't know.
If you want to get mad about somebody for the whole thing is you can blame Travis Barker for the whole thing.
For making him...
Which that's hard for me to get mad at him for anything, and that's what I struggle with him dating Kourtney Kardashian. It's a whole issue with me, but like, because...
Can you expand on this? Because I don't really know what you're saying or where you're going with this.
Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian are a couple.
Yes, I know that, but you're saying...
Well, because I appreciate Travis Barker immensely.
Yeah, he's top 5 drummers of all time.
Yeah, and like maybe the top for like our generation, unless you're like, oh, like, haven't you heard of this death metal drummer? Like those kind of things. But like, I appreciate him immensely, and I feel like I owe him a lot. So it's hard for me to get mad at him for stuff. But he's just like, he's running the new pop punk thing when it comes to rappers and stuff like that, and dating Kourtney Kardashian.
How did you feel when like he was touring with Lil Wayne and stuff, and like playing all the shows with all those rappers? Did you like that stuff, or?
Yeah, I loved it. Well, I went to one of those shows, but yeah, I loved it. I thought that was cool.
Oh, you've seen Travis Barker play a rap show?
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet. With who?
With Lil Wayne.
You just went to a Lil Wayne concert?
Yeah, and that was 10 years ago.
That's dope. That's pretty cool.
But whenever a rapper picks up a guitar, they kind of feel like they're now the greatest guitarist of all time, and they're like doing it better than anyone's ever done it. It's like this huge thing, like, oh my God, they're doing it! He's doing it! And you're right, it's just like power chords. It's just like the one note or whatever, or like whatever you call it, or 3 notes maybe. And they feel like they're like dominating music by doing it.
Yeah, a lot of
and
country
Post
guys
Malone
do
might be the
same
only
thing.
one who can do it.
Yeah, he's the only rapper I can think of that I've seen pick up a guitar. Because didn't Lil Wayne have like a little controversy with the guitar at one point?
I don't know. I mean, he did a whole rock album, and at the concert I was at, he was playing guitar, but it was like, it wasn't just like him and a guitar. He's just like playing it. They probably had the fucking music playing over it anyway.
Yeah.
But
just
yeah,
to make
I
it
don't know what
look
the
like
controversy was, but he was kind of, I feel like, maybe one of the first ones to do it.
I feel like you can see it a lot in country music players. I don't follow country, but I've definitely seen country guys where I'm like, that guy sucks at guitar. And it's just like...
And the thing is, my drum teacher told me, he's like playing drums for country music is really, really easy. But he said sometimes guitar for country music is actually really, really difficult. Like sometimes. And he said there's a lot of country singers that are actually amazing guitar players. And I was like, huh. Apparently Brad Paisley is like a masterful guitar player.
Dude, country has... Me and my guitar player just had a whole conversation about this a few weeks ago. Because I called him and was like, you're going to hate me. I was like, and we just got on the conversation. I was like, I've been listening to a lot of country music. And he's like, okay, we're not friends anymore. You know, like just that type of conversation. But we talked for a while about it. Like studio country guys.
Yeah.
Dude, they are no fucking joke. Like a guitar, like, because I don't know how to explain. When you watch a country solo player rip on a guitar, dude, it's complicated shredding. It's really complicated shredding. Unless you play guitar and like get into it, I don't know. Metal guys, dude, it's garbage. It doesn't, okay, you're playing really fast, but what you're doing actually isn't that difficult. It's just, it's like, okay, you're just timing is really fast, which it's difficult in its own right. Country guys, when they shred, they're doing like, you'll see some guys like they'll hold the chord and then they'll bend one finger in that chord, and it's just sex. It's they're like making love in the way it's way more technical and way more chord based, but they don't just rely on just that. I don't know. Country guys are...
Yeah, I don't know either.
But what I was saying is a lot of country singers will pick up guitar and they don't know what the fuck to do.
Right.
You can just see it. It's just all they're doing is just strumming G. Just do.
Yeah.
Strumming D, do.
And the only example he could really give me was Brad Paisley saying that, and it was news to me. Apparently he's some amazing guitar player. I'm like, okay. And then for some reason, he was also telling me that new country today, and we've had this discussion, but he's like, the beats from it, or the drum, the musical drum part of it or whatever, is just completely stolen from hip hop. He's like, new country is the drum part or the beat part or whatever is all just ripped right from hip hop. I'm like, well, that makes sense to me.
No, you can hear it, and it's getting more and more aggressive. There's a few songs on that today we were listening to country because that's what my girl always has on in the truck, and straight up like pretty hard rap beat in the background. Like,
yeah.
Like this isn't even. I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Dude, so I got a weird situation playing out. I'm not a snitch, but I'm tempted to call the cops and be like, we got some funny business going on down the street from my house. Some weird shit. So I live, it's not like it's definitely not a middle class neighborhood. We live in Aloha. There's a lot of Mexicans in Aloha. So it's just like, we're not in like a ghetto neighborhood, but it's not I don't know. It's just not. I don't know how to. It's lower class neighborhood. You definitely don't see a lot of nice cars. You know what I mean? It's not super ghetto, but it's a modest little neighborhood. And at the beginning, like there's a main highway. You turn off the main highway and head up my street. And I live like eight blocks off the main road. And from the beginning of that road, it starts at crap. There's like a really nasty apartment complex, and it just slowly gets nicer as you head down the street. And so like a block and a half down the street there's a lot of like ghetto little duplexes, and this dude has this garage set up. It's like a small garage. I'd say 500 square foot garage, and he's always working on cars, shitloads of cars, like constantly he's running some kind of like chop shop thing going on, but it's not like a business. There's no sign. He's not like actually, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's flipping cars, because the cars are kind of always changing. I don't know if he just has a lot of friends that he's helping. I don't know, but it seems like he's probably buying cars, fixing them up, selling them, type situation. You know what I mean? But he's not. It's not like a junkyard. It's like all the cars run that's in his yard, and he always like parks them. Every car will be like 6 inches away from each other, and they take up every square inch of his possible lot out in front of this garage. You know what I mean? I don't know how to. It's a weird situation. But I've seen the garage door open, and it's a pretty nice shop. It's not like all Snap-on shit and like super super clean.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's definitely, he has it set up to pull a car in that garage and work on it, and it's not garbage shit. But it's always like he's got like 3 late 90s Toyota pickup trucks out front. He's got like a Honda Civic out front. He's got but once in a while you'll see like a kid there like talking to him, and he'll have like a lowrider, like a Cadillac with hydraulics on it and shit like that. So we're kind of in the ghetto. So all this kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? What's going on here? And then 2 days ago, might have been yesterday, 2 days ago, I'm driving home from work. Turned down the road, heading down. There is a brand new, badass Ferrari sitting in there. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, dude, and it's not like an old, this is a brand new white leather interior, fucking nice ass Ferrari. Just like, with the top down, sitting right out in front of his house. And I'm like, that's weird. I like slowed down. I was like, that's a sick fucking car. And like, I was telling later on, I'm like telling the girl, I'm like, there's like $100,000 car sitting out there. Then I looked up Ferrari and like started scrolling through cars. And I was like, I don't know all the makes, and there's a shitload of them, or models of Ferrari. But I mean, shit, I was like, that could be a $300,000 car. Because I start looking at all the price tags. I'm like, shit, I didn't realize Ferraris were that expensive. And like a brand new Ferrari is like $330,000. It doesn't belong in front of this guy's house at all. Like fucking way does that car belong in front of this guy's house. And then today, now he's moved all the cars around, but which isn't uncommon. Those cars it's not a junkyard. He's constantly switching cars out, and like, because he needs to like get one into the garage. Now this one's like the closest to the garage, surrounded by cars, and he has a cover over it. And I'm like, did he steal the car? But I don't think you can steal a car that nice. Like, I'm sure they have like low-fi, or you know what I mean, low jack or whatever shit on cars like that. Yeah. Like, I would assume. So or this is a drug dealer situation. But no one with a car that expensive is going to let him work on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you go to the Lamborghini dealership.
Exactly. It's just so strange to me. You know what I mean?
That's
it's
weird.
like, or is he straight up like a coke dealer? And
Is this a white guy?
I don't know. I don't know. Whenever you see people there's always like 5 guys out there like drinking a beer. You know what I mean? So I can't tell who's the owner.
What a terrible neighbor to have.
I don't know. Isn't it suspicious though? Is that not like really suspicious?
I don't know. Not really, but maybe. I don't know.
It's too nice of a car. Nothing.
Yeah, that's odd. But who knows? I don't know.
If
Maybe
you
he bought it.
have
Maybe it's
you have $100,000 to throw down on a car, the base minimum, that car has to be it's at least $100,000. I don't know the model, but it is fucking mint. This ain't like, I don't know, some 20-year-old Ferrari. This is a brand.
Yeah.
The paint job is immaculate on it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking. If you
I
have
see them
that
around
much
here
money,
sometimes, and it weirds me out in the summertime.
But if you follow that car home, they pull into a fucking $500,000 house. You know what I mean? Like up there.
Yeah, it's just weird here that sometimes I see one and I'm like, I don't know, it just seems weird up here.
Yeah.
People just have money to blow, I guess.
It's weird. I don't know. It's weird everywhere when you see a nice car. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it is kinda
definitely
weird.
in Portland. You can definitely, if you get in certain areas, you start seeing some nice ass.
Yeah.
If you get over at, so we have Lake Oswego here. That's where all the basketball players live. That's where the money's at. A lot of money's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go hang out in that town a little bit. Oh yeah, it's every 30 cars is a fucking nice ass car that goes rolling by.
Yeah.
But not in Aloha, not in some fucking, low income neighborhood. You do not, because it's dangerous to have that. I wouldn't park that car around here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
so I was telling that to some dudes I work with, and he told me a story. He lives kind of in a little bit nicer of a neighborhood, but in Beaverton, and not where nice cars should be. And he was saying that a fucking one day, like a few years ago, one day this Lamborghini just showed up. It just parked on their street. And like all the, then it's there for a few days and all the neighbors start like, whose car is this? And they're all talking to each other and no one knows. They're like, why is this fucking Lamborghini here? And they're like, is that your Lamborghini? No, all the neighbors like, that is not our Lamborghini. And he said it sat there for 2 weeks. No one touched it. He said like one of the neighbors came out and some kids were like leaning on it, like taking pictures and shit. And one of the neighbors starts screaming at all these kids, like, the fuck off that car, you pieces of shit. Like, da 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 da. But then I can't remember. I think then the cops just got involved and they ended up towing it away and no one figured out what happened to it. But I don't know, like, I don't know, something sketchy about it. But if there is nothing sketchy about it, I want to go talk to this dude. Be like, dude, I'll give you $50 if you fucking give me a ride in that car. I want to go fucking get in that car.
What if he said, if you give me a hand job, I'll let you ride in my car?
Fucking. I'm ready to go.
I think you should go talk to him. This is a guy you got to start hanging out with. You got to get in with. You know what I mean? Not just your online gamer friends sitting at home all day. You got to go get down and get in with this guy and start helping him run his business. You know what I mean?
Sounds like probably a good guy to... Dude, he's... I don't think you can steal a car that nice. So I don't think it's stolen.
I don't think so either.
I think it's a drug situation working out.
Probably, yeah.
I bet he probably knows some... I bet he's probably dealing a bunch of coke is what's going on. And he knows some fucking, And it's probably someone it's probably a Mexican dude, and it's probably a Mexican dude here that's trying to stay under the radar. You know what I mean? So he doesn't want to take a Ferrari to a dealership. You know what I mean? And he's like, hey, you work on, I know you know about cars. Hey, take care of this shit. I don't want my name on anything. You know what I mean? Fucking, I don't know.
I don't know either. That's craziness.
I'm thinking it's a drug dealer situation. Somehow it has to do with drugs.
it's weird. Sometimes when I'm looking at my neighbors and there's something's going on, I immediately start thinking, I'm immediately like a little suspicious. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? You know? Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't seen his wife in like 4 weeks. Could she be like dead inside their house? Like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Immediately go to something suspicious.
Very dark, very nefarious type when you're looking at your neighbors.
Yeah. And like they said, you never see your neighbors bringing groceries.
Oh,
and I still don't see that.
Forgot about that.
It's fucking... Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But all my neighbors are really old people, and I think this is probably like a middle-class neighborhood. And they're all really old, and that's perfect with me.
Yeah.
We all go to bed at fucking 9 o'clock. So, does the name... Oh my god, I'm really skeptical to even get into this, dude. Oh. Just because I've been thinking about it so much.
I hope you're about to do what I figured I knew what you were gonna bring up, and I was kind of happy, and I willfully didn't look into it at all, so that I could, so that you could just feed me information.
Oh my god, fuck!
We'll talk.
My mind has been tortured. Does the name Gabby Petito mean anything to you?
I have the least amount of information. All I've seen is like headline, grabby headlines. Like I know someone went missing in like the Grand Teton National Forest or something like that. And she was van camping, and then like today or yesterday I saw something about a boyfriend situation. Other than that, don't know anything. I'm completely blank. That is the max amount of information I know.
Well, I'm happy that you at least knew a little bit. So this missing persons case has caught fire this week, probably bigger than I've ever seen. I mean, as big as anything's ever really caught fire on the internet, in my opinion. It blew up like crazy, and I feel like maybe I saw a couple headlines and stuff at first, like 4 days ago, and there was a little bit of pushback from me where I was like, nope. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days ago, I fucking dove headfirst into the whole fucking goddamn thing. Like crazy person. It's so crazy. It's just like ridiculous. And because it's the internet. The internet is just a crazy, crazy place. So, okay, what kind of happened was, and so I'll tell you what happened, but, it's going to be kind of a summary. It's not going to be everything. But, like, so this Gabby Petito chick is a white girl with blonde hair, blue eyes. She's 5'5", 110 pounds. And while I have a bunch of notes, most of this is going to be off memory. She is engaged to a guy named Brian Laundrie, Laundrie, Laundrie. And if we were on like Sirius XM or something and I was talking about this, I'd be playing the song Dirty Laundry under this whole thing. But she's engaged to her fiance named Brian Laundrie. He's 22 as well. They're both 22. And they're a young couple, both from the state of Florida, of course. And she's like hashtag van life people, where they converted this van, this shitty 2012 Ford something van, Transit or whatever. And their plan was to do this 4-month-long trip across the United States, visiting national parks, posting it on social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the whole van life thing. And so, sounds fine, I guess. So what happened was these two, they live in Florida together in Northport, Florida, which is a town, I don't know much about it, but I know it's about 80 miles south of Tampa, okay? 80 miles south of Tampa. And her mom lives in New York. So, but they live in Florida. They drive up. For some reason, they leave on this trip from New York. So they were up there doing something, talking to the mom. Or maybe they stopped at places along the way. They leave New York on July 2nd. And they're headed across the country to do this 4-month-long summer/fall, I guess, van life thing. And I looked up her Instagram. She had 217,000 followers, which I looked up the Instagram a couple days after she went missing, so I don't know if that follower count like fucking doubled in the time. Probably did. And they left on July 2nd from New York. On August 12th, they were in the Arches National Park in Utah. And she posted a photo on Instagram on August 12th in the Arches National Park in Utah. Which is just crazy. It's crazy right now that in national parks all across the country right now is like a record number of people that are there, because I guess for like the post-COVID or mid-COVID or whatever this summer of travel, national parks right now are packed full of people. She even said when she posted the picture of them under an arch that they had to wait on a small line to take a picture under an arch in the national park. And I'm like, oh my God. And that was August 12th. The same day on August 12th, they were in a parking lot of, it was a co-op. I don't even know. It's like a grocery store, I'm thinking, like a co-op or whatever. They were in a parking lot, and they got into a fight in the parking lot. The Gabby Petito and her fiance, Brian Laundrie. They got into a fight.
How do you know that?
Because it was a big enough fight that a witness called the cops on a possible domestic issue. Okay? And I'm sure there's security camera footage or whatever. They have a bunch of security camera footage of these two. A witness called the cops on them fighting in the parking lot. They took off in their van. The cops tracked them down, pulled them over. As soon as the cops turn their lights on to pull this van over, the van fucking swerves and goes over a sidewalk and goes off the road. And then the cops talk to them for like an hour and 20 minutes. And since, 2 days ago on the 16th, today is September 18th, just for the record. 2 days ago on the 16th, the cops released this hour-long 20 minutes of body cam footage. It's on YouTube of them separating the couple, talking to her, talking to him. And I watched probably a half an hour worth of this hour and 20 long minute body cam footage from this police thing that they talked to these two. And I'll get into that in a minute, but it's really crazy trying to watch body cam footage and develop any sort of opinion. For one, I feel like everybody looks guilty on body cam footage. If I was talking to the cops for an hour and you were watching the body cam footage of me, I'd probably look guilty as fuck. I don't know. So it was weird. She was crying uncontrollably. He has all these cuts on his face because apparently she was hitting him with her phone and he was pushing her and all this crazy shit. And they both told the police that they were in love, engaged to be married, and didn't want to see anybody charged with a crime. They both said, we don't want to press charges. And that was on August 12th, the same day they visited the Arches National Park. On August 19th, they posted an 8-minute video on YouTube called Van Life, Beginning of Our Van Life Journey. It showed them kissing, scaling rocks, and laughing about how the sun in Utah had melted the chocolate in Brian's granola. Now, this video is like a quick cut / lots of time lapse with like non-copyright music played over it. So I watched that whole thing, that whole 8-minute video, and I watched it before the body cam footage, and it's so fascinating. And I'm gonna try not to be too mean here, but like I gotta be a little bit mean. But it's so fascinating watching that. And then watching the body cam footage, it's like the perfect example of, internet life versus reality. How this is 7 days apart, or not even. That was when the 8-minute video was posted. I mean, the footage is from their whole trip, but it's like, in the 8-minute hashtag van life video, they're like kissing and laughing and joking and like the perfect happy couple. But then the body cam footage is like she's crying uncontrollably, he's all cut up, they're talking to fucking 6 cops, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. It's just fascinating. But,
yeah. It's like every time someone posts like an avocado toast sandwich, they don't fast forward 4 hours when they're in a McDonald's drive-through line. You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah. It was really interesting, actually, and watching the 8-minute video, I was like, this is gonna, because I already knew she was missing, and I was gonna be like, I don't really want to watch this 8-minute video because I'm just gonna get mad at him just watching him in it. halfway through the video, I wasn't mad. I was just super annoyed at these two. I was like, God, I can't stand either of these people. It's like someone watched a day's worth of hashtag van life footage, and then they were tasked with making a van life video. I'm like, oh my, it's just so stupid. And it's like, what I was thinking about is all the things they were doing in it, like laying in a hammock, fucking doing yoga, like making granola yogurt, and all this stuff. I'm just like, it's kind of, and I couldn't even describe it. It's like, say you were up in the wilderness, like hunting or camping with somebody, like a stranger, and they sort of had all this brand new expensive equipment, but at the same time they just seemed out of place, and they didn't seem like they knew what they were really doing. They seemed like out of place, and that's kind of annoying. Like if you're in the woods with someone and they have like the brand new equipment, but then they're like they're just like not comfortable. And that's kind of the vibe I got from the whole thing. I'm like, this whole trip just seems to me like it's just for the internet content, right?
Yeah,
anyway,
like they really don't want to go live van life. They're just like, well,
yeah,
this is what's popular, and this is what's getting views. So
yeah, and they want to make their lives look, envious to people. And they were like camping, and in the background there's like a highway with like heavy traffic, like a couple hundred yards away. And I'm like, this is not the wilderness, yo. I don't know. That was really weird watching that 8-minute thing. But that might just be more issues with me than with them. I don't know. So that was August 19th.
You had a problem with fucking running into a goddamn moose out in the wilderness, and you thought everyone was going to die, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the wilderness. That was the fucking wilderness. There was no highway in sight. And so the last post on her Instagram account was on August 25th. So the thing about the Instagram, I went and looked at that. All of her posts up until the last two have like a location tagged on them. The last two posts have no location tagged on them, which all this sort of internet detectives people are like saying that that's really suspicious, that they think something happened to her before those two were posted and that someone else posted them from her phone, which I sort of agree with. And then also the girls online were saying that, because guys don't notice this shit, even though girls think we do, we don't. The girls online were kind of saying that in her previous posts she had like black roots or brown roots, and in the last two posts the hair was all completely blonde. So they're like, those are obviously old pictures.
Or
and I'm
she
like,
just
okay,
got her hair dyed.
That didn't happen, but I'm like, okay, I'll go with that. That makes sense. And then so the last post on her Instagram account was August 25th. September 1st, and this is where it gets weird. This is where it just gets fucking crazy. And September 1st, Brian Laundrie shows up in Northport, Florida in the van alone. So, and that's when people are just like, what the fuck? And the van's registered to her, and she owns it. So he just shows back up at home at his family's house alone. And he refuses to speak to anybody. And he immediately goes and gets an attorney and pays an attorney and just refuses to speak to anybody. And that's when people are just like, what the fuck is going on? And then it wasn't until September 11th, which was a week ago today, that her family reported her missing. And that's why it's sort of all this has blown up in the last week, because people have found this case and just been like, what the fuck is happening, dude? The police call Brian Laundrie a person of interest, which a person of interest is not a suspect, which is just wild as well. Saying he was the last person known to have been with Gabby Petito before she went missing. Officials at Grand Teton National Park said rangers are working with investigators from the National Park Service, the FBI, and other local authorities to find her. So a bunch of FBI is out right now in Grand Teton National Park searching. FBI from Denver, and he is and the police in Northport, Florida are saying they're still treating this as a missing persons case, not as like a possible homicide, but he still hasn't said a word to anybody about anything that happened. And then the crazy thing about this is, like, literally every few hours there's more shit coming out about it, which is just kind of makes it like crack. Last night, like late last night, it came out that he's now missing. He was in his family's home in Northport, Florida. Now he's missing. Now there's an FBI manhunt for her and for him. And it's just like, wait, what? They're currently searching some swampland 13 miles north of Northport, Florida, like as we speak, looking for him because people are like, he's either running from the authorities or he's going to kill himself. That's probably what's one of the two things that are going to happen.
Or someone from the other family killed him.
Maybe.
Some brother or something.
I want to kill him.
Some brother of the sister, and he's like, you killed my fucking sister. I'm going to find you, motherfucker.
Yeah. And it's a little crazy that they haven't found her yet. But but it's not really that crazy because I know the wilderness is this is just like more Murray vibes for me. I know the wilderness is like the wilderness. Like, it can be hard to find somebody, but I definitely don't think she's alive. And that sucks to say, but it's been fucking since August 25th that she's ever done anything on the internet. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, she's dead because either you're found or she's not Bear Grylls. You know what I mean? She's not out there fucking building a house and fucking killing deer with her bare hands. You know what I mean?
No, and the thing is, national parks right now are apparently like jam-packed full of people.
So someone would find her if they were, if she tried hard
if she was
enough.
like, hey, I need
Have
help
you ever
or whatever.
been
And
to
like,
the Tetons though?
No, I believe
Dude,
it's in Wyoming.
That shit's out there, bro. Like, that shit is in the middle of fuck all. I don't know, dude. I just remember going to the Tetons, and there was just a feeling there that you like, because I've been to Glacier, Yellowstone. The Tetons felt more isolated. You felt more away from people than I did in Glacier. Because when you like hit Glacier, I don't know, you're passing houses and shit like right when you when you cross into it. It's like you're not that far away from civilization. I mean, you can get deep. Yellowstone, you can get deep, but there's a lot of things in Yellowstone. There's campgrounds everywhere. You could definitely take off hiking and get fucking deep, but like the Tetons, dude, it is in the middle of nowhere. It's in Wyoming, which is fucking empty anyways. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know.
No, something shady happened because apparently a lot of the hiking trails in the Tetons, they're saying, are kind of treacherous and have steep and are steep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The Tetons are different than other national parks. I mean, as far as steepness, I guess Glacier has that, but Yellowstone isn't steep. It's just vast.
Yeah. They started pushing each other again, but like, and an accident happened. But like, apparently people are saying too that there's actually a decent amount of cameras in national parks, and that national parks have got kind of sneaky with that. And they've put shit up places too. I don't know. And there's people online are tracking helicopters because there's helicopters all over there's a couple helicopters on the above the Tetons right now looking for her, and I guess you can watch helicopter patterns and shit like that, like on a live app. So people are watching that. Like, people are going nuts about this case. And the whole other thing that happened today, and I don't want to get into it too much. I really don't want to get in. We're not going to get into it too much. But like, just her profile has started this whole other explosive branch of posts right now, and I got into it today with a bunch of people going back and forth, internet arguing about it. People are just saying like they just turned it into a race thing, and I was just going back and forth with them about it.
How?
Just saying, I wish there was this much attention for other missing people as well and stuff like that. And I'm like, there literally can't be. You know how many people go missing? Like, you can't have this much attention for every missing person. There's literally not enough time in the day. It has to be a fascinating case in order to explode. And I think the fascinating part was just that he showed up back at home alone and hasn't said a word to anybody. That's kind of when it went to that next level. And what also this is bringing up is, and I've heard a bunch of people talking about this, is, and if I gave you enough clues, you'd probably be able to guess it, is the quote-unquote death zone.
Oh, yeah, but that's in Yellowstone.
Apparently it's 3 hours away from where they were.
Yeah, Tetons isn't that far away. It's on the west side of Wyoming.
Right. And I'm like, I wouldn't rule it out, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you kill someone and then you drive for 3 hours to the death zone and leave them there. I don't know. It's fucking nuts. It's just crazy. And this brings up a couple of... this just gets me thinking about the Maura Murray thing, even though that's kind of different. And then the Chris Watts thing, which was this case in Colorado where this husband killed his wife and his daughters. And then this Josh Powell case, which is a case that I... like in the winter of 2018, 2019, I listened to this huge series about, and that was, it's actually pretty similar because it's where the husband, the wife, and the kid went camping in the winter in like southern Utah or whatever part of Utah is like a huge desert with lots of caves and shit, and then just the husband and the kid came back. The mom never came back, and everybody was like, this guy clearly killed her, and he clearly did, but they never found her body, and this was like FBI and people searching for basically years and years and years of all these caves in Utah, which there's like thousands of little caves. They could never find her, so they could never prosecute him. If there's no body, there's no chance of prosecuting anybody. You have to find something. So, but this is
unless that you admit to it, right? If you admit to it,
yeah. But this is only a couple weeks old, so it's like, I put my money on them finding something, but it's just so crazy. And it's like, then he goes missing. So now they're an FBI manhunt for both of them. It's just so fucking weird. Yeah. It's crazy.
That is crazy. That's an interesting one. Yeah, stories like that are, just intriguing. There's no wonder why this is not, wildfire on Facebook and shit like that. It's fun. Did you ever...
This is just some Florida shit that moved across the country, dude. This is just two crazy Floridians.
Of course it's Florida. Did you ever hear the whole story? I just watched a few months ago, and I'd never heard that story. I think it was in Denver. The one where the guy is, like, secretly dating this girl and has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and then a wife... and they're having all kinds of problems, and he's like dating someone else secretly, and then he fucking kills the mom, puts her in the back seat of the truck, and then loads the 2 kids up in the truck with their dead mom at their feet, and like drives them out to he worked for like an oil company.
Yeah.
Do you remember that whole story? And then he dumps.
Yeah, I believe that's the Chris Watts one.
Oh, is that Chris Watts? Is that what it is? Yeah, then dumps.
I believe. I could be wrong.
Dude, that one's the documentary, like that made me cry because it's just like it'll show like fucking video of this cute little like 2-year-old, and then it's just like, dude, and I'm pretty sure they said he did it while they were alive, like shoved them in the fucking in an oil pit or whatever, like while they were alive.
A tank.
Oh, an oil tank, yeah. And it's just like, dude, how the fuck could you do that to your own kids? Like that's insane.
I don't know. And people are really comparing... Oh, God damn it. I had a picture. People are really comparing this guy to that guy just in the way when they're watching the body cam footage and stuff. It's just like these soft-spoken guys who are kind of like twitchy and like smiley. They're like, he's just like Chris Watts. And it's like, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough. And it's like, they obviously kind of like to like fucking fight each other. And it's good that whoever that witness was that witnessed them fighting called it in, because then we have the hour and 20 minutes of the body cam footage.
That's kind of interesting. That's weird to me that was released. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
there's an ongoing investigation into something, usually they don't give us any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm glad they did.
they must have thought that it would help the investigation having the public see those videos. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And there's a bunch of people coming out on like TikTok and stuff saying, I saw them on August 24th and da-da-da. And the FBI has contacted all those people and they've talked to them. And there's been cases before where the FBI said like, hey, anybody that was in like this neighborhood or this store or something on this day, send us all your pictures that you took that day. And people have swamped them with thousands of pictures, and they've cracked cases based off those pictures and stuff like that. So there's probably going to be stuff like that happening. Hey, if you were in the Tetons or around there on this day, like send us info, and people will. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Mysteries are cool. You know what I mean? I was just this morning to my girl was just explaining the whole Maura Murray thing, you know, because we were talking about that. But yeah.
And it's like he drove across the country, which apparently from the Tetons to Northport is 30 hours, and he drove
that ain't no joke of a drive. That is a miserable drive.
Oh yeah, that sounds miserable, but like. Driving that, he's obviously guilty or something, like of at least having some information. That must have just been the stressful fucking no sleep drive, just to get that back to your parents and then lawyer up. Like, hey, Brian Laundrie, I'll be in fucking Tampa in the end of October at a Bucks and fucking Bears game, so feel free to meet me there. Because I got some questions for your ass. And you better be fucking packing. Because I'll be the guy wearing the Tom Brady jersey. You can meet me outside of the stadium. And you better bring some fucking heat. Because we have questions for you. Okay?
I like it,
I'll make it easy on you. I'm coming to your fucking neighborhood. I'll make it easy on you.
This ain't armchair detective anymore. This is fucking baseball bat detective.
Well, you better pull the trigger until you got nothing left. Because I'm fucking coming down to Tampa. And I'm going to start asking some questions down there. Knock on some doors.
Brad's
you know what I'm saying?
hard. Brad's hard, son.
Knock on some doors and get really down in the nitty gritty. And I mean, it's new shit coming out like hourly. So it's like every time my phone fucking goes off, I'm like, oh my God, something happened. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They got a black bear in questioning right now. Like, where were you on September? Blah, blah, blah.
It's kind of crazy that people can still like go missing. I don't know. Part of me thinks it should be an easy to find them, and then part of me is like the mountains and the thick woods and stuff is like impossible to find them at the same time. There's like a conflict there. It's just, I don't know. Have dogs. Like dogs could fucking find
where's her
somebody.
phone at?
Yeah.
You'd think they could easily just like fucking track a phone down, be like, oh, here's the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, at least the last place. And he's like, in all these videos, he's always barefoot, and he like doesn't have a cell phone. That's like his thing. He doesn't have a cell phone. I'm just like, this fucking guy, dude. This fucking jackass. Like, I just can't. There's just, even if he was like my coworker and just watching, even in that 8-minute video where it's like the nice side of him, I'm like, that's still someone I wouldn't hang out with just because he's fucking annoying the shit out of me. And I don't know.
Huh.
Do you
care if I change the subject? Because it's kind of relative to what's going on. Or do you got more to say?
Yeah, that's fine. No, I mean, hopefully I'll keep it updated.
So
do your own research.
I think this is kind of relative, but I ran across an interesting fucking TikTok. So do you remember Kai?
Yeah, the hitchhiker.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
Well, I know stuff that happened like a couple years ago.
We've got this floor header.
God damn it. Why can't I fucking just...
So I ran up behind him with a hatchet. Smash, smash, smash.
That,
he was a viral sensation.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Did you know he fucking is in prison right now for murder?
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. I was like, what? He's got a big old face tattoo and shit like that now?
Oh, really? Well, that clip was from when he killed somebody, right? That was like
Yeah,
raping
that's
somebody?
what's crazy about it. Is the whole viral video is he saved some woman's life and fucking beat some dude with a hammer. And now,
But then years later, he like actually killed somebody.
yeah, so it's kind of suspicious. I mean, I didn't do any kind of deep dive. I just saw that TikTok and was like, "Whoa, really? That dude's in prison now?" But then it's like maybe he was literally just got lucky, found himself in a situation to where some woman's like being attacked by a dude, and he's like, "Oh, I get to kill someone now." You know what I mean? Fucking a smash, smash, smash. And just like, man, that felt great. Or did doing that like spark a fucking, you know what I mean? Was he not a killer and then killed someone and was like, actually, that was pretty cool. Like, I kind of want to do that again, you know?
Yeah. Everybody has to kill someone like for the first time. So maybe that was the first time.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, I could do this again. Yeah, or not. Fucking, yeah. Homeless people. There's probably a lot of murders that happen that, you know, nobody knows about.
Asinine amounts of murder.
Yeah. That's fucked up. God, the whole thing's fucked up.
Dude, so then, let's see.
I can't stop thinking about that.
Here's a quick little story. My daughter has been playing this game the last few days to where
Madden?
No, she wants me to go unlock the car doors, and then she likes to get in the car and pretend like she's driving the car, and like she'll just circle the car and like open doors and pretend like she's putting people, like a taxi driver, she calls it taxi, you know, and she keeps wanting to do it all the time. And so I'll get off work and like I'll go out and smoke a cigarette on the porch, and I'll just go unlock the car, and she'll go run over and start playing the car. But I can see the car, but I can't kind of see the car. It's behind my truck, so there's a lot of like blind spots around the car. You know what I mean? But you know, I'm sitting there and I can hear everything, and then we go into dinner. Fucking, I call her. I'm like, "Hey, Aurora, come on, it's dinner time." She comes in. We eat dinner. I come out to the garage that night and like have all the lights on and fucking sit here and play games until like 11:30 in my garage. And go out and I'm locking everything up, and then it just hits me. I'm like, I wonder if anything's weird with the car. I was like, I never checked the car afterwards. I fucking go out there. It's like midnight, and dude, my front door is wide open, and it's like it is like 5 feet from the fucking crosswalk, dude. And like I said, my neighborhood it's not a nice neighborhood. It's not a bad neighborhood, but there is bad people that walk by. And fucking
Jesus.
And there's definitely homeless people that will come strolling by once in a while. You know what I mean? There's definitely some fucking cholo type dudes that go by that are questionable characters. My mail got stolen like 2 weeks into me living here, and they stole the check from me. Fucking
yeah, that's right.
My wallet was sitting right in the center console with $1,000 cash in it, and I have
what the fuck?
Yes, dude. Just I couldn't believe it. I was like, I can't believe I just didn't get my wallet stolen. It was just sitting right out in the open for everyone to take. And a little side note, 2 things I want to plug here. So the wallet was in there, and a set of glasses. I just went. I know it's dumb, and I know half the people I've told about this are like, yeah, you haven't seen that. I had never seen it. I was in Best Buy the other day. Fucking, you know how they got like the aisle with like the JBL speakers and stuff like that, and then where the headsets are and stuff. I'm walking down that aisle, just kind of cruising Best Buy, and I see fucking glasses, dude. They got Bose sunglasses that are fucking Bluetooth glasses that have little speakers right where your ears are, and they just point fucking audio down.
Stupid.
Dude, they're dope as shit. I think they're sick. They're very sick. And fucking, yeah, have those sitting right there. And those fucking expensive as shit. So those,
They just play audio like out into the world?
When I wear them, you can't, if you have to be like a foot away from me to actually hear any of the audio. But
I think I could hear it.
Okay, whatever. They're fucking super. They're nice fucking glasses. Like the quality of the glasses is nice, and the Bluetooth thing, I actually really enjoy because it's nice because I can hear people. Like I can be on a phone call or listening to music, and I can still hear someone if they're talking to me. You know what I mean? It's not like the earbuds block out noise, and there's something about it I don't like I like earbuds, but I don't like earbuds.
Yeah.
And then I hate having 2 earbuds that are Bluetooth, because then it's just these 2 small little things. I don't know. I just don't like that. I'd rather wear. I don't know. So, anyways, those were sitting there. I love the glasses, and those almost got stole too. That was just a little story there. Nothing too important.
I always try to keep nothing in my car that's stealable. Like, my car is empty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I'm rolling around with so much cash right now. I just haven't made it over to the bank. I've been getting paid in cash for like everything I've been doing. So
Fucking money bags.
And I just keep not going to the bank. I mean to go to the bank and put the money in the bank. And I just like, yeah, I need to go to the bank right now. My wallet's getting pretty fucking stupid. Someone saw it the other day and they're like, who the fuck carries that amount of cash around? I'm just like, I'm sorry. Okay, here's one for you. I know I didn't give you any room to talk or rebuttal or say anything other than to make fun of me. But another TikTok I came across. I kind of feel like just playing the TikTok so you can hear.
I've been a real estate agent for about 11 years now. And let's talk about the housing crisis. And let's talk about some what ifs. What if there was a company that everybody knew of to look for houses, and everybody goes on there and searches for houses when they're bored and stuff, and so that company, they just sit back and they just collect all the data. They just know what zip code is looking at what zip code and how much those people can afford. Everyone's looking at this one zip code and everybody seems to be able to afford this certain amount, and let's say that $1 billion company uses that information to go into that zip code and start purchasing houses. Because the people that are selling their houses, even though they sell it for a little bit less sometimes than what the home could actually be worth, and they pay these high fees to this $1 billion company, it's a convenience factor. So this company's scooping up houses less than what they actually could cost. And let's say that company, that company buys 30 homes within a 2-mile radius. And let's say the price is $300,000. So they buy all of these homes for $300,000. And then on the 31st home, they buy it for $340,000, even though they know all of the comps, because most people have to get a loan. And if you get a loan, you have to get an appraisal, which means the appraiser is going to look at what homes have sold in the area for that size and that price per square foot. So they're paying cash. They don't need an appraisal. Why would they pay $340,000 for this 31st home whenever they've only paid $300,000 for these others? Well, what that just did is create a new comp. So when they go to sell these other 30 homes, that extra $40,000 that you could say this one sold for $340,000 just made them $1.2 million off that one neighborhood, because they know from their research how much people can afford in that zip code. Weird. And let's say that then they're going to come in. They bought that home at $340,000 that still needs work. So they're going to come in and do the good old paint, spackle, and change the carpet and call it a remodel. So now we can sell them for $360,000. Because we know off of our data, that's how much people can't afford. Wouldn't that be weird if a company did that? And then say that this company also starts letting you use their own lenders and their own title and escrow company, and makes you write your contract on their contract, not the one that your state uses. Wouldn't that be a weird world to live in? My goodness, I can't imagine us living in that world.
Isn't that nutty?
Wait,
and then
but there's already there's a company that's already doing it.
So I showed that to a few friends, and then that sparked some arguments internally between some friends. They're like, "Yeah, I don't know, blah blah blah." So then I came across an OPB, Oregon Public Broadcasting. Yeah, that goes into this, and it's like earlier this year, blah, blah, and this is talking about Beaverton. So we all know Zillow.com is a place to browse homes for sale. A staggering 194 million people visit this site every month. Now Zillow is pivoting, bringing in immense resources to the tangible business of buying and selling houses itself. Yeah, and they're doing it in 30 markets. Portland and Vancouver is one of their markets. And wow, that's weird. Right when they started doing this, Portland skyrocketed in price. You know what I mean? This is when shit gets weird, where I'll actually have a conversation with that'll lean way more into socialism and big government, because this is really
how are they making more money? It's because they're turning around and then selling the houses for more.
Okay, you buy 30 houses for $300,000.
Yeah.
Okay, the way houses are appraised. When you get an appraisal sheet from an appraisal company, is all they do is take your zip code and find houses like that house, and then that's how they appraise. And so they'll show you a sheet of 10 houses in your neighborhood and what they sold for, what their square footage is. The square footage will be very close to your house. The lot size will be very close to your house. It'll be like they try to find 10 houses that are just like your house. Well, if a company can come in and buy 30 houses, all at $300,000, and then on one house, they randomly, there's no reason that they needed to pay the extra $40,000. They just pay the $40,000. What that does is now increase the house, and you could strategically do that to just increase the value. And then once that starts, bam, it all just jump up to 340, because then everyone's like, oh, well, this house sold for 340. I want 340 for my house. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought they were doing. Yeah.
And
that's smart.
it is smart. And I was telling one buddy about this that's a little older, and he's like, yeah, Fannie Mae got in a bunch of trouble for that, like right before the recession, the 2008 recession, something like that. I didn't know, and I didn't look into any of that. But this is when shit gets funny, especially if I think for like libertarian minded people and conservative minded people, is free market, small government. But then you get real fucking problems when stuff like this starts happening. You know what I mean? Like, there really needs to be a check. They shouldn't be able to do this. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have private companies being able... I don't know what the deal is, because I think a private company should be able to get into buying and selling houses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that makes sense. But there's a real problem when they're artificially changing the market. You know what I mean? To benefit themselves. Yeah. And it just fucks everyone else over. It almost as if the real estate market, if it's a residential house, it's almost like there should be laws to where companies can't buy property. You know what I mean? Or they're limited to like 10 properties or something like that. You can't have a monopoly going around buying up houses. You know what it's like? I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird game, and when it gets so big like that, it's not right. There needs to be some kind of check. And I hate saying that, like the government needs to step in and regulate a market. But it's, and you know, it's the same thing, same argument. We're all, you know, this whole fuck the 1%, tax the rich. Like I'll usually defend the rich person in that argument. But, you know, there is a lot to be said about, you know, when Walmart comes through and destroys all its competition, then it can just jack its price up on, you know, it can sustain, you know, it's in so many different markets. If you're big enough, you can drop all your prices, sustain the losses, kill your competition. Once your competition's gone, jack your prices back up. Bam. Now you've just, you know what I mean? And that's really fucked up to do. And there's nothing you can do in the end of the day as a consumer. You're stuck with whatever the market is, or whatever, be it housing or anything, groceries, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the fucking Walmart model right there.
Yeah. Except Walmart is cheap for everything. This is, like, to me, more nefarious, because the whole idea is to just keep jacking prices up.
But there's obviously demand for houses in the area, right? In any area where they're like, where Zillow's like, that's where we're going to go and buy 30 houses because people need houses.
Well, yeah. I mean, but and that the whole beginning of that TikTok was not only the business side of that. It's they have more access, which is fine. They're a company. They have way more access to data. You know what I mean? They legitimately are. They're the source for collecting the data. They have all the numbers. They understand more than anybody. You know what I mean? If you get a bunch of people, they can sit there. Why do you think Portland is in? Why did they pick the 30 places? They picked them very strategically. Obviously, a company doesn't just willy-nilly do something. So I guarantee you, picking Portland was probably pretty easy, because they start seeing millions of people in California from their area code looking at houses in my area code, and they're like, okay, this is probably a good place to do this in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And these people can afford this. You know what I mean? A bunch of Californians can. I don't know. I just think maybe companies shouldn't be allowed to get in residential home buying. Like it should only
Just
be
commercial?
for private. Yeah, like just commercial, or they can only get in a spec building. That makes more sense. Build spec homes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you have to like out of pocket build the house, buy the land. You know what I mean?
But it's like some of those like a private company like that may have started with just one guy saving, buying a house, and then renting it, and then buying another house, and like he's worked his way up now to where he owns fucking 200 homes, you know, and that's kind of like the ideal system, and now he's gonna do that. But it just seems like it's a no-face corporation with just an unlimited amount of money and an unlimited amount of data. Because when anybody in this country is searching for a home to buy, you kind of go through Zillow at some fucking point. It's kind of become the monopoly. And now they're going to you should buy Zillow stock. Because now when they're doing this, they're going to fucking skyrocket. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I had never thought about that, and I really didn't even know that was a thing. And then once I saw that, I was like, huh, that makes total fucking sense. And it should somehow, that should be illegal.
Yeah, I know. That sucks. I always thought a neighborhood would just go like slowly over time, one at a time. Like someone makes their house really nice and that one sells. And then another person down the street does it. And like over time, the neighborhood starts getting nicer and nicer and nicer. I don't know.
Yeah.
I learned something interesting about pirates. And you people that are listening can fact check me on this because I'm not bullshitting you. So, and I think you'll appreciate this. So apparently, what I've heard and what, researchers and scientists or whatever have come to a sort of conclusion on is that most pirates didn't wear an eye patch because they were missing an eye. They wore them for a different reason. Okay?
Okay.
Now, you could probably spend all week trying to figure out what the reason would be. But the reason that most because not that many pirates are missing an eye, just some of them. But like the reason why most of them wore an eye patch is because you're out on your ship in the middle of the ocean. There's fucking no clouds in the sky, and it's sunny and bright as fuck. But you're working on your boat. They're just working all day long doing stuff. So when you're working above deck, and then you got to go down below to get something, down below it's like pitch black, dark, sealed. So they'd swap the eye patch to the other eye so that they could work down there and their eyes wouldn't have to adjust. And then go back up above and switch it over to the other eye. Interesting, right?
A very interesting theory.
Because apparently it takes like 20 minutes for your eyes to fully adjust from like super bright to super dark, and they can't be standing there below deck waiting for that, so they just swap it. Interesting.
I like that theory. I like the theory. That's a good theory.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, all these pirates are missing one eye. Like, no, that doesn't make sense if you think about it.
Where did you hear
Pretty
this?
smart, actually. I heard it on a radio show, and then I looked it up.
That is pretty interesting. I like that. I know
Yeah.
what I'm going to be talking to people about for the next few days.
Yeah, because nobody's going to come to that conclusion on their own unless there's some fucking eye doctor. I also realized, I don't know, I don't like Rosie O'Donnell. I mean, there's things that Rosie O'Donnell has done, but I saw a TikTok about her that made me really not like her. And I recently just stumbled back across the clip of Theo Von Answers the Internet, which is kind of a popular clip where he answers questions from the internet. And in one question, they're like, if you could fight one fictional character, who would you fight? And he's like, probably Rosie O'Donnell. And they're like, that's a real person. He's like, hey, it depends on who you ask, man. But apparently when the movie Fight Club came out, I think it was around the time Rosie O'Donnell had like some big daytime talk show on television. She hated the movie Fight Club, the movie so much that the next day after it came out in theaters, she went on her show and told the end plot twist to everybody watching her show. And I was just like, oh my God, fuck you.
That's really weird.
That's really fucking stupid. What is wrong with that lady?
She must have had beef with like Chuck Palahniuk or Brad Pitt or something like that, and was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah. Why would you do that?
That is very weird. It's very weird
that
not
is
to
very
like
weird.
that movie.
Yeah, that is weird.
You know what's
Well,
bullshit is trying to get people to like. I'm pretty sure I have a friend that I've been begging to watch that movie forever, and he's young, and he won't watch it. And I'm like, dude, if there is a fucking movie out there that you should watch that you haven't seen, it's Fight Club. The first time you watch it it's one of those movies that's, dude, it's honestly for categories like that, your first watch is the best. Say Fight Club is probably easily top 5. You know what I mean? You're going to have like Fight Club, Sixth Sense, you know what I mean? I think Fight Club's way better than The Sixth Sense. You know what I mean? Way better than
maybe
that.
Maybe like The Matrix.
Is there a big twist at the end of The Matrix?
No, but I remember the first watch, it just like blowing my mind, and then people had to explain it to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, there's a person in my life that it makes me so fucking mad for how many times I've said to watch it and they won't watch it. It's like, dude, just fucking watch the movie. And they're like, yeah, maybe. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Do you get that? Like, it makes me so irritated. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's so
well,
fucking
yeah, I
good.
tell you to watch stuff and you don't watch it.
I watch a lot of it. It's like me telling you
No,
to
you
fucking
don't.
listen to the fucking Shining, and you just won't do it. And it's like, dude, I'm telling you, you're missing out on something really cool. And you're like, no. It's like you're scared that you might actually like it. And
No,
fucking,
that's not it. It's a problem of staying awake. It's going to put me to sleep.
Whatever.
But yeah, he should watch it. Apparently, when the movie Fight Club came out, it was not that big of a hit, and it grew over time.
It
And
wasn't,
I blame
dude.
most of that on Rosie O'Donnell. Now.
It was not that big of a hit. I remember,
Right.
I vividly remember the first time I watched it. I was in Florida the first time I watched it. And I didn't.
Oh, God.
It definitely came out around the same time as The Beach. And I'd heard of The Beach. My brother had a bunch of movies, and he just bought in The Beach, and he just bought in Fight Club. And I remember The Beach getting publicity. Like, I knew what that movie was, but I didn't know what Fight Club was. I was like I remember looking at the DVD cover and was like, huh, like, what's this? And then we watched it, and I was just like, what the fuck are we watching right now? Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. You would have been pretty young because I was pretty young. I think I was in the 7th grade when that movie came out.
I didn't watch it until like mid-2000s.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Hackers?
Yeah, of course. They owe.
I have
I
have not seen that movie, but I downloaded
Like the
it,
90s
so I'm gonna
movie?
watch it. Yeah, it's like apparently it's like one of Angelina Jolie's first movies, or
Oh,
maybe her
yeah,
first
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, dude, that movie came out, I want to say like 96 or something like that, 95.
Yeah. I think you nailed it with 96. I think, but I've never seen it, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
Because
that
what's
was my
weird-
brother's favorite movie growing up. He watched that movie on repeat
Yeah.
in the 90s.
a lot of people have loved that movie apparently, and in the radio show I'm listening to from 10 years ago, they were talking about Matthew Lillard, and he's in that movie, and he's also in that SLC Punk movie. He's also in The Descendants, which is a movie that I love. But since I just watched SLC Punk a few weeks ago,
Is
and
that
I'd
the
never
main
seen
character?
it, yeah,
Matthew Lillard?
and
Okay, yeah.
and he's in like Scooby Doo and a bunch of other shit. I can't remember.
He's a really good actor. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he's
He was
good.
in Train
but,
Spot. Wait, was he in Train Spotting? Am I mixing that up?
I have no idea.
I may be mixing characters up there, but
Yeah, you might be. But that SLC Punk movie, while I had downloaded it like literally like 3 years ago, and it's just been sitting in my downloads folder, and then I finally watched it a couple weeks ago, and it's kind of like stayed with me. That it's just
SLC
this
Punk?
interesting movie. Yeah.
SLC Punk's a great movie.
Yeah, it is a really great movie, but it's like, I don't know, it's a really small movie.
The thing that's lame about that movie is it was kind of like it was like a cult movie for kind of lame.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It was like a cult movie for kind of douchebags in 2008. You know what I mean? Like everyone was just like, it was like it was everyone's favorite movie. So many kids I knew, like,
Yeah.
they all had SLC Punk. And
Yeah.
yeah, what about Bob? Or fucking
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
no. Isn't there a dude named Bob in SLC Punk that fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just quoting, I don't know, throwing a quote from what I can kind of remember out of the movie.
But I'm going to watch Hackers once I'm done with Yellowstone.
That's great. That's good. That is good.
I just wrote another thing down, but it's not that good of a thing. It's just like, how long are you searching for something in a store before you finally ask somebody for help? Or do you just leave when you can't find it? Because there's been multiple times I can't find something, so I just say fuck it and leave. But it's like, how long until you get to that point? And people might say something like, oh, women are more open to asking for help than men. But I've been looking for things in a store with women before, and they don't just say, let's ask for help. They fucking look as, almost as long as anybody else looks. So I don't even think it's a gender thing. But I don't like finding somebody and being like, hey, where's the fucking weather stripping? Because in most stores, it's really hard to find the weather stripping in stores. And it's just like, how long will you look for something before you ask for help? Or do you just walk in and just go straight to an employee and say, where's the weather stripping?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I'll ask for help all the time. Like, I have no problem with asking for help. I won't ask help if I'm 90% sure that I can't relay what I want to the person. If it's too unique of an object, that happens in Home Depot a lot. To where I'll find an employee and be like, this is what I'm looking for. And they're just like, I don't, you know what I mean? And then they just have to look on their little thing and they're like, wait, what? And if I can't, like, I don't know. There's just been times to where I don't know, like, what to call something. I'm like, it's a fucking, you use it for this. You know what I mean? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll spend a while looking.
Because I hate in Home Depot, it makes me mad because a lot of times they know they'll hey, yeah, that's aisle 35 and down there. What I hate is when you ask for help and then they interject themselves into you, and you realize within 10 seconds that I know this store better than you do. You know what I mean? You're just like,
that happens.
I'm good, and then I'm just like humoring them with, they're just like, well, let's go find it, and I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I just wanted you to tell me where it was. I don't want you to join me in my mission looking for the product. Like,
yeah. Oh, that happens too. I'll just spend a long time looking. And eventually there's been times when I just said, fuck it, I can't find it, I'm leaving. I don't know.
Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got, yo. Do your own research. Gabby Petito, look it up. There's a lot more shit that I didn't bring up. But we're all going to search for her together.
Eric and Brad Show, episode 68. We appreciate you guys. You can find us anywhere. Please like and subscribe. Jump on over to our YouTube channel if you're not over there, and maybe check some of that shit out. Tell your friends. If you want stickers, email us. If you have questions, comments, topics you want us to talk about, make fun of someone, I don't care. If it's your birthday, you want a birthday shout out, fucking bring it on.
Eric can do that part.
I'm Eric. That's Brad. Episode 68 in the books. Until next time, we love you guys. Bye.